On any given day or night in any of the towns and cities of the San Joaquin Valley, you will find a man, a woman, and a family in need of help. The help is for food. The help is for housing. The help is to end the misery. It is estimated that between 600 to 1,000 homeless people in the valley did not sleep in a bed last night. 250,000 people needed help last year in the valley to feed their families. And learning a skill to find a job seems like traveling to the moon. There is one organization among many in the community that takes on the task of housing, feeding, and training for a job. Poverello House is an oasis in the heart of downtown Fresno that has been devoted since 1973 to the homeless and disenfranchised. Poverello House is well known to be a safe haven for men and women who, through a number of life experiences, have brought them to a point of dependency on others to exist. Poverello Executive Director Cruz Avila is only the second director of the facility after founder Mike McGavin retired. Who are the people Poverello help each day?
When we look at our clients, or we describe our clients, it's walks of all life. I mean, you have a lot of folks that are single that are coming in. You do have some families, but for the most part, it's single individuals coming in, looking for some type of help, whether it be on the housing side, whether it be on the social service side, mental health side, behavioral health systems, a little bit of everything. And so one of the biggest things for us is no questions asked. Clients that come through our gates and doors on a day-to-day basis, we work with them because we want to help them get that service or that meal or that missing gap that we're trying to fill for them as they're trying to fill it for themselves as well. So we're considered a day camp. So Papa Mike, when he opened the doors back in 1973, he set it up as a day camp, but with the understanding that we do have sheds, so it's temporary housing per se, if you want to look at it that way, where we have clients that are able to stay in our sheds overnight until they find their place of destination, whether it be permanent housing, whether it be supportive housing, or temporary housing, but we are able to have them stay overnight with us until we transition them to their next step. And that's where we have our new map point at POV, which it was just a grand opening last month, to be able to help clients and navigate them to their service or their system that they need to be able to get back on their feet again.
Why did this all get started? Founder Mike McGavin was one of the street people.
I lived in San Francisco, and I ran across a priest up there, and I was not into religion, and not into helping anybody. I just got caught up in the Haight-Ashbury. I lived out in the Haight, drugs, and I was going down in the Tenderloin, which is a rough little area up in the Bay Area, and I see these people going into this little building and coming out with coffee or something. And something just told me, I check that out. And I go in there, and they're serving coffee. If you have a nickel, it costs you a nickel. And if you didn't, it's free. So, and some cookies too. So that's quite a deal. This priest was running it, and he asked if I'd want to volunteer. And it really scared me because I've never done a lot of things, but I've never done something for somebody that in a positive sense. So I said, well, I'll go home and sleep on it or something. And I'm rolling around, and something just drew me to go back and see this guy. So I volunteered, and boy, the next morning I got up, I really felt good about volunteering. I never did it before, and helping somebody else and talking. And it was, the coffee shop idea he had, the little hotels around there, there's no lobby, is just go to your room like. So he felt if they had a place where they could play chess, checkers, talk, and they had a little kind of a lobby for them. So that was his idea. So I started doing it, and little by little, first it was once a week, twice a week, 3 times. Finally, I did it about 5 or 6 times. I really enjoyed it that much. I'm glad to give back. This priest helped me out when I was pretty confused and lost and kind of out of focus. I kind of call it stuck on stupid for a couple of years, because you drop acid and ride a motorcycle and hit a building, you know, that's not, doesn't take a Harvard graduate to figure out that's a stupid thing to do. But I had to do my stupid things, and I was lucky to live through them. But it was, when I got on a better positive path, it was, you know, it was good. I could really enjoy kind of seeing families get back together and guys get back into their careers and put the booze back. And we featured a 12-step program for our drug rehab. And so it was all kind of coming together, and it's been good.
No one has it easy on the streets, but women are more vulnerable to crime in the middle of the night and in daytime than men. Poverello has 2 centers to aid women, the Holy Cross Center and Naomis House. Each night, 24 women can find a bed and sanctuary.
Naomis House is an overnight shelter for single homeless women for here in Fresno. And it is the only shelter for single homeless women. And it's an overnight shelter, and basically you check in the afternoon. You go ahead, and once you check in, you go ahead and have your meals. And then after your meal, you get to come in and do what you would do every night, or what I do every night. Get comfortable, get relaxed, watch some TV, hang out with the people you care about, and enjoy your evening. And then afterwards, they go to bed at night, and they have to be out by 6 a.m. Right now, we're only allowed, because of the type of funding structure that we have, 24 women at night, and we are full every single night. And then we have to usually generally do a lottery at times. It is very dangerous for women, because they're at times extremely vulnerable, and especially if they're under the influence or have mental health issues, they also get increasingly vulnerable and victimized. So a lot of these women get constantly victimized every single day. So by the time they come to us, we're like a safe haven. For at least one night, they have a warm bed, a shower, a great meal, companionship, some case management, and the next day, maybe when everything has cleared up a little bit, we try to provide some resources for them.
The Holy Cross Center for Women at Poverello House provides medical services through St. Agnes Medical Center to both men and women, with medical and dental care provided by area doctors donating their services.
Well, what we're doing for the homeless women and any other women is providing classes. If they're interested in taking English as a second language, we have that 4 days a week from 8:30 to 11:30. We have pre-GED and GED, and so they can work on that. And we've had a couple of women just recently who completed their English as a second language, did their GED, and then got their citizenship. So those things are big for us and for them and their families. So then we have the sewing room, which is fabulous. And the women can come in there and work as long as they want. But 2 ladies were in there this morning. Yesterday they had come in and they learned how to make tote bags. So today they came and were making them by themselves. And other people are in there, sewing on things. They help each other. And it's, they feel free to come. And I walked in one day and this lady had all the volumes of white cloth. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she says, My daughter volunteered me at school to make costumes for some play. And she said, I know how to sew, but I didn't have a sewing machine. So I came over here, and it was perfect. She had the place pretty much to herself, and it was good because she had lots of material. And so, she was able to do that.
On any given day, the kitchen at Poverello House will serve 1,200 meals to anyone who shows up at the door. Chef Tito, a transplanted Chilean, takes great pride in his ability to serve his clients with whatever is in the pantry.
Everything we do over here is based on what we receive from people. So we are lucky enough that every day for the last 10 years I've seen something really good to prepare. And that is providence or this luck, or I don't know what it is, but it will never fail. So after that, we get together in a group with my cooks, and we discuss that once a day, what the menu is going to be for the next day based on availability of ingredients. So it is a kind of challenging, but it pushes our creativity to get really our point across with something good for our clients. One of our basic providers for that, or our main providers, is the food bank. Every month they provide us with the pasta and the sauces that we need. And then what we do is we mix a lot of the fresh ingredients, like tomatoes, all that, to prepare sauces. And they could be red, green, yellow, all kinds of sauces over here depending on what we have available. It's really challenging, and we love it. We have a month that we have to think about it if we are in the first half of the month, which numbers are kind of low, and then at the end of the month, it starts picking up again. So an average is about 1,200 meals or servings a day, and that includes the breakfast, lunch, dinner. And it's not only for the clients at the Poverello, but also we take care about 5 agencies. So we do cater to them.
A national survey on drug use and health shows that 22.7 million Americans ages 12 and older needed treatment for illegal drug or alcohol use problems. However, less than 3 million received the specialized treatment they needed. Today, the Affordable Care Act is making it required for a range of health services to provide mental health and substance abuse treatments.
We work with referral-based systems, so we work with the county first and foremost to really help us, like with the Exodus, the West Cares, the Turning Points, all these different organizations. The Mission, it's a partner of ours that's right next door to us as well. It's that referral and the resource base that we work with them all, just like we do with our task force. Chief Dyer put together an amazing task force of 5 officers that's led by Sergeant Dewey, that really goes out there, is identifying the needs of our clients, and we're transporting with all these different organizations. So when you look at the bigger county level, we're all working together to make sure that our clients get the right care the first time. It's a little bit of everything, mental health, addiction, sobering up, whether they're looking for, once again, housing or just a social service. So it's a little bit of everything, and that's where our no questions asked model comes into play on a day-to-day basis, because each client is definitely different, just like you and I are different. We all have a need, we all have a want, we all have certain uncertainties that we often look at, and we have our case managers on site, our staff that really helps understand and guide our clients that come through our doors.
The majority of the homeless that sleep on our streets are males, some 62%. Women represent 38% of the homeless, and 26% have severe mental illness. Nearly 35% have chronic substance use issues. The majority are white, followed by African American. The dominant age of the homeless is between 31 and 50 years old, followed by 18 to 30-year-olds, and followed very closely by those under 18. A typical homeless family consists of a woman and 2 children. National research reports that some 1.5 million children experience homelessness in a year. The homeless numbers in Fresno and Madera counties have dropped in recent years. The Continuum of Care organization knows the reasons why.
Mainly our involvement with the national initiatives has increased our efficiency in getting people housed and keeping them housed and wrapping services around them. So we're just better at housing people, we're faster at housing people, and we have a more efficient system for identifying those that need housing.
Why do we see more on the streets if the numbers are falling?
What contributed to that a lot is the encampments being cleaned up. So whereas, they used to be concentrated downtown, now they've spread out because they've had to find new places to be and they've had to move. So the problem may appear to be larger, but really it's just more visible.
In a recent letter to the editor in the Fresno Bee under the heading of Beggars Disgrace Fresno, the writer is frustrated with the homeless situation, and the writer says, "We have waited 6 weeks for a response and nothing. Where are you people of power and influence? You promised and failed to deliver." The writer then goes on to describe numerous homeless people occupying busy street corners begging for money. Some are presentable, and others disgruntled in their appearance with belongings and discarded grocery carts. The writer says, "Our eyes are sore from looking at this blight. Fresno is the face of the valley. Let's have some pride." But the writer does not make it clear who should have the pride, the homeless or its citizens.
As we've worked with the mission across the way and our task force, we've really gone out to the community and really educated folks on the first approach on how you work with clients. Clients are human beings just like ourselves. We're all human beings, and we all want to be treated with respect. And just because maybe hygiene isn't the best or they haven't had a shower in a couple of days, it doesn't make them any different than who you or myself are, right? We are part of this bigger culture, the bigger walk of life. And at the end of the day, it's really educating the folks to say that dollar that they're going to give to the client or a consumer or a customer, if they would rather put it towards an organization that's helping, so you're not reinventing the wheel. That $1 or $2 or even $5 that they're giving to a client, if they put that $5 to an organization that gives and supplies those kind of resources, those $5 or $1 would go much more a long way than giving the client that, because we're providing all that service. And so we want to help educate the community to really let them understand, instead of doing that, passing out a business card of an organization, or perhaps even letting them know and guiding them to the organization like Poverello House, so they can get that first step, help to get them back on track on what they're looking for.
The homeless are not only on the streets, but many find their way to the Fresno County Downtown Library Branch, where the issue triggered the creation of a 20-minute video called Our Lives Surviving the Streets of Fresno, produced by supervising librarian Lisa Lindsay.
So I work at the Central Library in downtown Fresno, and after working here for as many years as I had, I knew that the large customer base here were individuals that live on the streets, and so I just wanted to come up with some sort of project that would involve those individuals interacting in some way with the rest of the community, since that's sort of an idea that doesn't happen very often. We have several copies of the newspaper that people check out every day. People use the computers, we have Wi-Fi, we have, of course, library material that people check out.
Lisa gave the description of homeless through the statement of someone who lives it.
When you think about it, just the word homeless, it's like we use it so much, but what it actually means is so sad. Like, you're literally saying someone who has no home, nowhere to be when they need to go to bed at night. Like, there's no home for them. And it really struck me when she put it that way, just how easy it is to take away the human element on something that's really just a tragedy. Society as a whole in the United States has just taken it as a fundamental value that it's not okay for people to go to bed hungry. And we have all sorts of resources to ensure that everybody has food. And then if we just had that next step we have it as a fundamental value that nobody goes to bed without a home, everybody is housed, just what would change for our society if we took that step?
I lived at the POV. I lived in the village of Hope. Slept in a sleeping bag outside on the street, slept on the bench, slept downtown in the Fulton Mall on their nice fake grass. You know, just anywhere I felt safe. I can't see myself getting high anymore. I can't see myself doing the things that I used to do.
Currently, I'm living at a village at the Poverello House. For me, the reason why I'm here is I couldn't find more hours at the 2 jobs I had, and I couldn't find any other jobs. But somehow I ended up out here, and through some other relatives I have here in California, they pointed me in the direction of Poverello House and kind of got me situated here so I can get back on my feet, and hopefully I can get back being in my own apartment again.
The homeless issue is a daunting one. The valley's acceptable weather, both summer and winter, provide incentive to stay. Poor economic conditions for the less educated and menial jobs that don't pay enough to support a single individual, let alone a family. Substance addictions and mental illness that destroy the ability to make decisions on health and welfare.
That's the goal. We're here to educate. We're here to help our folks get back on their feet. Do we say that all of them are going to take that education and run with it? Unfortunately, not all of them will, and that's okay, because maybe they're not ready today, but they may be ready tomorrow, or they may be ready from a year now. And so when they come through our gates and doors and they're looking for that meal, and they want to sit down and talk to us, and we'll help them, we'll educate them, and hopefully get them back on track. And if, like I said, if it's not going to happen this day at this point in time, it may happen from in a year or within a week, but they're going to come back, and we know that we're going to be here to help them out.
Where do you lay your head tonight? And where will it be tomorrow?
Within these last couple of years, we've been starting to see a trend, and when I refer to a trend, it's we're part of a new era where you're starting to see new executive directors step into these new organizations, whether it be the Marjorie Masons, the Catholic Charities. Here with us at POV, I started back in September of 2013, and you start seeing agencies collaborate versus not collaborate anymore, and I think that's the ongoing trend. We're evolving, and I think that's what's really getting the growth and helping folks work together versus versus being unconnected. And we're starting to connect, and I think that's the bigger picture. But for us here at the POV, you know, it's always that need of those unrestricted funds, and I know that organizations always ask for those dollars, but with us, that's one of the biggest things that drives us, from the operations of the trucks to supplies and stuff that we're having to purchase to be able to provide all these services for our clients and even residents that are within our program. So it's always the biggest need, and we're always looking for foundations or businesses to, if their heart lies to really donate to the Poverello, then that's what we ask. You know, some folks, their hearts lie to donate to other organizations, but we ask that they take a second, come visit us, come volunteer, come take a look at the bigger picture, and I'm sure it'll be a perspective and a game changer for a lot of folks to want to donate, young or older generations, to come in and see what their dollar is going towards, and chew on a day-to-day basis.
It's going to take an effort of the community to help erase or even solve the problem, because you can't erase people. They're magically not going to disappear. Not everybody that's homeless is an addict. Some of them have mental issues. Some of them just are down on their luck. You know, life happens.
For more information about how you can assist Poverello House, go to www.poverellohouse.org or call 559-498-6988.